How's everyone feeling tonight?
Better than you, I imagine.
Pretty sore.
Well, obviously, Joseph, first of all, just talk about the fight. I mean, incredibly entertaining. I think a lot of us were surprised you guys didn't get Fight of the Night award.
Oh, my God. Can you believe that? I don't even know who did, and I don't think I watched every other fight, but I feel everyone else has been telling me it was definitely deserving of that, so bummed out about that for sure.
We'll talk about the fight overall. I mean, I know that you weren't the biggest Henry Cejudo fan coming in, but
yeah.
I got to imagine hearing a little bit of your respect in there tonight.
Yeah.
What did you think about the overall fight?
Yeah. As a person, of course not, but as an athlete, I always respected him, and, now more so. Guy's athletic, strong, fast, and I've always said that, he's becoming a really good fighter, but his athleticism is incredible. Just his speed, his power, super strong, hard kicks and punches. So, just what I thought before, just an athletic guy, for sure. But it was an awesome fight. Felt good in there. Felt stronger as the fight went on. And, could have done 3 more rounds if we had to, 5 rounds, whatever. But, definitely started feeling stronger as the fight went on.
I saw a lot of scores all over the place. People really know how to score it. I wonder what you and your team, I mean, when the final bell sounds, you're going up there for the result. What did you guys think?
Yeah, my coaches are straight up with me. They would never, tell me otherwise, and my friends and everything. And they told me I probably lost the first round, but it was a tie, and then that I won the second 2. So, yeah, that was pretty much how it was scored, I guess. As far as like the winning card, had me up 2-1, and then the other ones I think they had us both 3-0. So toss those ones out because they're both bad scores if they gave us one of us each 3 rounds. But I think the deciding scorecard, the one where I won 2 rounds and he won 1 with the point away, was the right choice.
He said, as great as the fight was, as much as he thought he won, he doesn't want a rematch right away. He needs a break from you and some space. But what do you think? I mean, do you think this is a guy that you'd like to? I mean, that you'd like to fight again, to maybe put an exclamation point on it and make sure there's no discussion about it?
For sure, yeah. I'll fight whoever again. It was a fun fight and it was a challenging fight. It was a lot. It was one of those fights that right when you're done, it's like, oh man, there was this opening, there was that opening. I've had 2 more rounds. It was just getting, kind of going and seeing some things that would have landed. So, yeah, that's always cool. And, he's pretty much starting his career almost. So, he's going to be around for a while. So will I. So, that's always going to be there. That was definitely the best him. And I think, what people what I can take from it is, his last fight was a loss to Demetrius. And it's cliche, but you get so much better after a loss. So you think I saw it like he was the best version of himself tonight. And, it was awesome. I was glad to go in there and compete against him.
And lastly, for me, I know you don't get caught up with title shots and things like that. Yeah. But after beating that guy, you're clearly the number 1 guy in the division.
For sure.
Demetrius, of course, hangs on to the belt. I mean, will you lobby? Will you ask and press for another chance at Demetrius Johnson?
Yeah, I've said it in all my interviews post fight thus far. That's the only fight I want. Go for the title. I have 6 wins in a row. There's no other fight that I want. I lost to the guy twice. Like, how could? I'm not going to sit up here and be like, I don't want that fight. And, people say I lost twice, but it's like me and Demetrius could fight 1,000,000 times. It's going to be 1,000,000 awesome competitions between 2 world-class fighters, So, let us go at it again. Him and Tim's fight was awesome tonight. And, that's exactly how I feel is, of course, that's the fight I want. That's the only fight I want. And, we could fight 1,000,000 times. It'd be awesome every fight in a competitive contest between 2 of the best fighters. So, yeah, let's get after it.
Joe, it seemed like that you were able to make some positive adjustments in terms of the striking exchanges from round 1 where he was having success to the 3rd where you started coming on. Was that how it played out in your mind? Did you have that same sense of the momentum?
Yeah, I feel like I'm the more experienced fighter, and I'm going to have pretty much better cardio than anybody as the fight goes on. So, yeah, it just started becoming more clear to me, as it happens. You make those adjustments, because you've seen all that stuff, and that's what an experienced fighter do. So, I think someone came back and were like, you out-veteran him tonight. Like, you were the experienced fighter, you got better as it went on. You made adjustments, and he kind of kept doing the same thing. And yeah, that's definitely somewhere where I saw like that I had an advantage was those X factors. He's a great athlete. He's fast. He's strong. But my fight IQ, is just a little higher than his, and like little things like that, little intricate details that it takes to win at the top levels. I knew I was gonna start seeing more things, and that's kind of how I always fight. Just like even my last fight with Makovsky was into the third round where I like started getting his timing and his takedowns and everything down. Where I was like, oh, 2 more, let's do this. So yeah, always gonna get stronger as the fight goes on, I feel.
With the flyweight division being one of the newer divisions, one thing it hasn't really had yet in its history is a lot of storied rivalries. It hasn't really had its Edgar Maynard yet. Based on the closeness of this fight and its compelling nature, could you maybe see if this gets run back one more time, maybe even again, that you guys could maybe be on a path to that kind of history together?
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense, for sure. We're two, number 1 and 2 in the division. This fight was awesome, and once again, you get 2 guys in there that are world class. I mean, you can have them fight as many times as you want. They're going to be awesome fights, and this one just even would make it better. I mean, obviously the Ultimate Fighter and all that stuff helped. The fight definitely helps. So if it happens down the road, I'm ready. Let's get after it.
And lastly, as someone who has not only fought Tim Elliott but also had him on your team, I don't know if you had a chance to watch his fight or not, but if you did, what were your thoughts on that performance tonight?
I loved him. Love watching that guy in his first run in the UFC, all the way through the show, and now back. And I'm proud to know him now on a deeper level. After the Ultimate Fighter and having trained with him like the last 4 weeks. Just respect that guy and his style and his mentality as a fighter so much. After the fight, he said, I might have lost when the 5 rounds ended, but if this fight went to the death, I'd beat everybody. And I wholeheartedly believe that. The guy will never stop. So I knew he was going to go in there, and I said in all my interviews he was going to give Demetrius hell, and he does that. That's what Tim does. He goes out and hangs his balls out there regardless, and he's always himself. He's not going to, make adjustments for this or that. He's going to go for the guillotine, go for the finish, and like I said, hang his balls out there for the most part. And that's what you got to love about a guy like Tim. So it's always awesome to watch him fight, and I'm super happy that he got this opportunity to fight. And, everyone knew how good he was going in, but you just went in there and saw him fight one of the best guys in the world. And competitive contest, almost had him in the first round there. And then Demetrius just made some adjustments. And like I said, Tim is going to continue to fight his fight and keep his flow. And they said during the broadcast, like, this guy's crazy. He's fooling around out there against the best guy in the world. But that's just how he operates. And like I said, knowing him on a deeper level now, I respect that and his style anymore. That's just the way that he lives. He grips it and he rips it.
Joseph, 2 questions if I could. Number one, how much do you think Tim's size was a factor against Demetrius? You've been in there with him, and Demetrius isn't a tall guy. And do you think the length that Tim had made a difference?
Yeah, Tim's a big flyweight, and that made a difference. He's super strong, and very big. And the other thing is, you can be a big person for like 1 round, and then it kind of starts to backfire on you. The speed kind of takes over, the timing, the cardio. But Tim is big, and he will not get tired at all. He can, like I said, he would have went 10 rounds, until one of them died. So not only is he big, he has the cardio to back that up. So, I knew that would be a good thing, and he went out there and implemented his size for a while. But Demetrius does what he does, and, goes out and gets it done, proves he's, the best.
And given how the last fight with you and Demetrius ended, obviously, it'd be incumbent on you to make the adjustment back. Did you see anything tonight in what Tim did, how Tim fought him, that I know you're different fighters, but was there anything that he was able to do that you think you might be able to take advantage of?
Yeah, I mean, you see, every time you go out and, see Demetrius fight, or me especially, you always have to look at little things that, little weaknesses and, tendencies and stuff that he has. So, yeah, Tim definitely showed. It's always nice to be able to go out and see Demetrius fight 5 rounds, because you can get just a little more of a touch on him and what he does and how he operates. So, yeah, obviously I was watching tonight, very excited. So I'll have to go back with my coaches and other people and watch a little more to see what we can really take out of that fight from what Tim implemented.
Guys, we'll take 2 more questions for Joe.
Oh,
Make them good.
Joe, they obviously asked you about Tim, but I wanted to ask you about Brandon Marino. You were with
Love that guy.
you were with him in Portland. So what did you see tonight from him?
I love that kid. What a lunatic. Just awesome. So fun. Same thing with him. So cool getting to know him like on a deeper level. Like watching him as a fighter and a peer, you kind of are going to be like, that kid's awesome. Like I'd like to get to know him, and getting to know him and training with him the last 4 weeks too. That kid's awesome. I think he's a future champion. He's 22 years old, incredibly talented and hardworking. And he went out there and showed it tonight. He has heart, the skill at 22 years old, and still getting better. So, just love that kid, and just excited for his future. Proud to know him and train with him.
You mentioned working with Tim and kind of rooting for him and being excited for him. But at the same time, if he wins, that probably sets your chances at a title shot back. Probably a rematch, holds up the division a little bit. How do you kind of balance how you're watching the fight, knowing you probably need Demetrius to win to get the title shot next?
Yeah. You can't control that stuff. I trained with Tim. I wanted him. It's not necessarily about wins or losses. It's for in that realm, I wanted Tim to go out and perform, and have a good fight and have fun. And that's something I learned kind of on the show is like you can only control your one thing that you're doing. Can't control the other man or the judges or whatever. You can do that. So I knew the options of him winning and the options of him losing, but at the end of the day, it's like I'm not going to control that. So I just hope Tim goes out there and has an awesome fight, and people love him and respect him and are drawn to him as much as I am after the fight. And I think he went out and did that, and showed a lot of people what he's all about.